Hello. One of the reasons why a large number of information technology implementations fail to deliver promised benefits is because of a lack of organizational competence in harnessing IT. As the role of IT within organizations changes, so do the commensurate competencies. The issue of organizations is to ensure that they identify and develop the requisite competencies in line with the changing role of IT. The scope of our discussion is restricted to those competencies that relate to organizations' ability to deploy its resources so as to effectively harness IT. The concept goes beyond the simple identification of person-based skills to accomplish specific tasks. It is concerned with evaluating existing abilities against future needs. This allows businesses to make informed decisions regarding the need to restructure, realign, or reassess their approach with respect to IT competence. In the strategy literature, two major paradigms for explaining the concept of organizational competence emerge. The first of these paradigms draws upon the concept of industrial organizational economics. Traditional industrial organization economics emphasizes barriers to competition and takes the position that industry effects will explain the greater part of persistent above normal returns. Particular industries are more or less attractive because they contain structural impediments to competitive forces and thus allow participating firms to maintain competence. The second paradigm suggests an alternative perspective that firms are fundamentally idiosyncratic, and over a period of time, organizations develop unique combinations of resources that allow them to ingrain distinctive competencies in themselves. Organizational resources may be physical, such as plant and equipment, or intangible, such as customer relationships, know-how, or brand name. A resource is strategic when it amounts to a significant portion of investment base of a firm and is not freely available in the competitive resource market. Currently, as there are few structural impediments to buying IT and the related systems, IT is increasingly being considered the key resource of an organization, and organizational competence is needed to exploit it. To understand the core concepts of competence, let's look at the following example. I know that moving the pedals forward moves a bike. I know that holding on to the handrails and turning them when appropriate will steer the bike. I know that squeezing the right lever on the handlebars will engage the rear brake and slow down the bike's momentum. Do I know how to ride the bike? Intellectually, I can explain to someone how to ride a bike, but this sense of how does not imply that I can or have the ability to do so. Having the ability to ride a bike involves some sort of practical knowledge, but practical knowledge seems distinct from having intellectual knowledge. Practical knowledge oftentimes requires dispositional abilities. That is, I might not be able to intellectualize how to ride a bike, but I can do it. Know-how of the dispositional sort seems to conflict with our standard intuition of the concept of knowledge. One question that we should ask is how distinct are know that and know how. Another question is the relationship between know that and know how. There are two interesting points to consider. One is that organizational advantage can hardly evolve from an initiative unless those responsible can develop competence in what they are doing. Two, competence can be thought of as a purposeful combination of firm-specific assets or resources which enables us to accomplish a given task. Among other factors, the underlying success in developing competence and hence organizational advantage, significant importance needs to be placed to the level of competence of an organizational subunit. A useful indicator with respect to potential advantage is when there is an increased convergence between the objectives of an initiative and its results. Unless such a convergence is taking place, it is difficult to argue that the organization or a specific team is developing competence. This demands emphasis to be placed on linking competencies to desired organizational outcomes that can be evaluated. The process by which elements of the individual know-how and skill become linked is also an important ingredient in achieving overall organizational competence. The process by which this is undertaken is crucial for achieving competence. Such a conception of competence is supported by the resource-based theory and is based on the contention that organizational capability is to some extent related to the processes at work with an organization. Now, we are living in a world where several IT tools and techniques exist. We teach these tools to employees and students. Yet, we never link the know-how and know that. We never practice the know-how part. In this class, my intent is that we get hands-on experience of how complex IT management issues can be or should be understood. My hope is to provide know-how so that know that can be grounded. In our context, most of the decisions related to IT investments, realizing benefits, and ensuring security and privacy are all based on the data. While there are many sophisticated data analysis tools that can be used, such as R, Python, Excel, Tableau, RapidMiner, and Power BI, but Excel seems to be dominating the marketplace. Recent market research indicates that roughly 54% of businesses use Excel, and this doesn't include other spreadsheet applications. Worldwide, more than 2 billion people use spreadsheet technologies such as Excel and Google Sheets. Companies hire candidates with Excel skills because the use of spreadsheets is considered standard for daily business analytics. Although complete systems and databases cannot be built off Excel sheets, the use is widespread. And in this course, we will provide the know-how of the skills to ensure that you know that. Thank you.